everyone. You know what time it is. It's Tuesday night. It's Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday. The 7th of September. Welcome to the 7th of September, everybody. How are you tonight? How was your Tuesday? Tell me about your day and what you are grateful for as we start working our way through week 77, 78. That is what we are doing here. Working through our week here. How are you tonight? I can't believe it's, was it a Tuesday, Monday for you? Was it like a Monday? Was your Tuesday like a Monday? Or did you have a good day? How was your day? What is shaking and baking in your world? That is what I want to know. I want to know what is happening in your world and what you and especially you are grateful for tonight. That is what I want to know. Early in the day, it was a gorgeous day. Here. Fabulous Tuesday, Rose. Yay! Hey, Adele and Dazzle are here. Dazzle, it is treat time. Angela, how are you? Great to have you here. We are broadcasting tonight on both Facebook and YouTube. Any problems with Facebook, hop right on over to YouTube. You can hop right on over there. Like a rabbit. Although a rabbit might disturb Dazzle, so I don't know. Don't be like a rabbit. I'm worried about my rabbits in my yard. We have wild rabbits running around our yard a lot of times, but I saw a fox yesterday. Hey, Kitty, how are you? Great to have you here. Live. Did you have a fabulous Tuesday, too? It was a good day for a lot of people. I tell you, people were out shopping today. I was in Costco, and you would have thought it was Thanksgiving. I'm going to get started tonight because I know I'm going to have lots of questions, and there's only so much time in the night, people. Good Morning, Good Night Book is where we start this program every night. Good Morning, Good Night Book. Tonight, if you're following along in the book, we're on page 156. Good morning. Don't get stuck in the comment section of life today. Make do. Create the things. Let others tussle it out. Vamos. There is your good morning. Yeah, it was a good day. We were busy too, so I was pleasantly surprised as well. Usually, the day after a holiday is not, and we had a decent day yesterday. So always happy when the register is ringing. Before we get into the 941, I got two things for you. I think two things, maybe three. Who knows? You know me. First, lots of updates coming out from the SBA tomorrow, and so I know what they are, but I'm not going to get into that tonight because I already promised you what we were going to talk about tonight. So I'm not going to get into the SBA thing. For most of you, the biggest thing that is coming out in the 21 pages of documents is permittable use of funds, and we will talk about that in the coming days. Don't worry, I will cover it extensively, and so don't worry about that. But I'm not going to talk about it tonight more than that. Second, the headlines that the economy is headed for a freight train. Okay, that everything was getting better, and now we're headed for a freight train economically. Even an article that just came out in the Wall Street Journal used that term. And I wanted to touch on it because, again, I really limit your news content, people, and it doesn't matter where you're getting it from. Okay, it doesn't matter the Wall Street Journal, the Birmingham Gazette, I don't know, the Tuscaloosa News, the Town Crier. I don't care where you're getting your news from. Limit your news content because it's negative. There's nothing, negative sells. Hey, the Queen is in the house. Hey, Vicky, great to have you here. So limit your news content. Okay, most of the economic headlines and the things that are driving for us forecasts of the economy down, okay, are supply chain issues. Okay, most specifically, okay, what most people are re-reporting is the drop that Goldman Sachs said for third quarter growth. They dropped their estimates of third quarter growth way down, okay, from what they had earlier, third quarter GDP and growth. And so a lot of people are basing their reporting on the headline from Goldman. And the reality is the biggest part of that that is causing such a drastic drop, okay, is not sales in your store as you saw today. It is automobile sales. It is automobile sales, okay? And, all the car companies shutting down because they don't have chips and doing 2-week shutdowns and stuff to build back up their supply chain. And, just to put a number behind that, and not a dollar figure, but a number of cars, okay? You drive by these massive car lots and you see all these cars. Well, this year, around now, there is 1 point something million cars on dealer lots. 1 point something million. So let's call it 1.3 million. I don't remember the exact number, but for illustration purposes, let's call it 1.3 million. In 2019, at this time, there were over 3 million cars on dealer lots. Over 3 million cars on dealer lots versus just over 1 million cars on dealer lots. That's a big difference. That's causing the pricing issues. That's causing lack of sales, everything else. I mean, there's a Toyota dealership that we drove by the other day that looks like it went out of business. They just don't have the inventory right now. But that is car sales can have or lack of car sales can have a huge impact on GDP. So, and the overall strength of the economy. So just know what is the driver in that. It's not the stopping unemployment. It's not all these other things. The biggest thing in and of itself is auto sales. The Dutch shipping company, the biggest shipping company for containers in the world, the Dutch shipping company Maersk today said, we're going to have supply chain issues until people slow down their consumption. And they were specifically talking about the United States. Slow down your consumption, and that will fix the supply chain issues for everything from toilet paper to computer chips. So just understand that, okay? And that's where that all is coming from. So tonight I'm going to step you through. Tonight we're going to step through. We're going to take the first pass. We're going to have to do this a few times because even though we're doing the first pass tonight, it's still confusing. It's still going to confuse a lot of you. We're going to do a quick pass tonight. Then you'll have the opportunity to print a copy of this. I've already uploaded it to the NARTS private Facebook group. I've already uploaded it to the NARTS private Facebook group. It'll be over at narts.org/resalestrong for you tomorrow. For all of you, 2 copies of the 941X. 1 copy is just a blank 941X. So you can work on your numbers and work out your form. This is actually a form you submit by mail. This is actually a form, no matter what, you submit by mail to the IRS. Okay, so the first one is a blank 941X form from the IRS. The second one, and the one that you are going to like better, is a 941X that is highlighted. Okay, why is it highlighted? And I fully admit that I am not a graphic designer, so it is not highlighted pretty. Okay, if you're looking for pretty, you're looking to the wrong guy. But functional it is. Okay, so it is not a pretty. I am not a graphic designer. I did not send this out to somebody and say, well, take my yucky copy here and throw it in Canva or something and make all my highlights look pretty. Didn't do that. So, don't hate me for my graphics. That's not what you don't come to me for my graphics capabilities. So we're going to step through why those fields are important tonight. We're going to do a light pass tonight. And then once you have the form and you print it and you have a copy of it so you can digest it, we'll start going into more detail of all the fields tomorrow. So that is the plan. There's the setup for you. Let's roll, people. Oh, hang on a second. Well, hang on. We got a quote from Simon tonight. Our quote from Steiner is, a mentor is not someone who walks ahead of us and tells us how they did it. A mentor is someone who walks alongside us to guide us on what we can do. Well, that's sort of perfect for tonight. A mentor is not someone who walks ahead of us and tells us how they did it. A mentor is someone who walks alongside us to guide us on what we can do. There you go, people. Oh, and I got this in honor of the Jewish New Year, which again, it's Rosh Hashanah. So happy New Year to all our Jewish listeners. And this quote from Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, a Jewish theologian and philosopher. Above all, remember that the meaning of life is to build a life as if it were a work of art. I like that. Build a life. And above all, remember that the meaning of life is to build a life as if it were a work of art. You're a Picasso, people. You are a Picasso. That is what you are doing with your life each and every day. Each and every day. All right, people. All right. Let's get going here. So we have the 941X, and it is highlighted. Lots of highlights here. Okay, so the 941X is 4 pages. Okay, it's 4 pages long, is the 941X. Okay. In the top block, you are putting your employer identification number, the name of your company, and trade name, if anything. So, for example, I am Everything Cutie Incorporated, and our trade name is Cutie Patooties. So, because that's how we started. So, our trade name, our name of our actual corporation is Everything Cutie Incorporated, and our trade name is Cutie Patooties, and your address. So, your name, your trade name, your business tax ID number, okay, your employer identification number. All right, Kelly, have a good yoga. Have a good Tuesday yoga, and we will catch you. This is just an overview night, but make sure you catch the forums and do the printouts. Catch the replay. Okay, over on the right-hand side. So over here, I'm going to do my best here with that. I'm not good at show and tell. So up here, we had your employer identification number. Then we had your name, your business name, and your trade name, and your address. Over here, the return you're correcting is a 941. That is what you are fixing with the 941X. Okay. Then the next box down is you have to check which quarter you're correcting. You have to do one 941 for each quarter. Okay. You have to do one for each quarter. You can't combine all of them and check all the boxes. So that is very important. Okay, you have to only do one for each quarter. Enter the calendar year of the quarter that you're correcting. Remember, right now, we're just dealing with 2020 for people. We are just dealing with 2020. I'm going to go to 2021. We're going to move into this year. But right now, we're just dealing with 2020. So you're going to pick the quarter that you're revising. You're going to check 941. You're going to enter the year 2020, okay, in full 4-digit format. Okay, the IRS likes things in boxes, and they like years and dates filled out completely. This is the IRS. They like their boxes filled out completely. Okay, and the next box down here is enter the date you discovered your errors. Okay, this can really be anything after the quarter. It can be today. Okay, because you are telling the IRS, I discovered that I could claim the employee retention tax credit. So that is what we are correcting. So anytime after the end of the quarter is after your 941 original 941 was filed is fine. Okay. You could say you found this out a month ago when Neil started explaining it, or you could say you found it out today. The date doesn't matter as long as it was after the period that your 941 original 941 was filed. And I say that is important because sometimes you file late. Okay, some of you are not paperwork people, and you're like, I always file my 941 6 months later and everything else. Not a good plan, but I know that there are some of you that do that. Okay, then we move down we're still on page 1. We're moving down to the part 1. You have to choose either 1 or 2. You're choosing box 2. Box 2, because you over-reported amounts and you want money back. You over-reported and you want money back. Part 2, you have to fill in some certifications. Okay, you have to first certify number 3. Okay. And you're doing, this claim is for federal income tax, Medicare tax that I didn't withhold from and box D. So 3D is what you're checking there. And then we're going to go over to page 2. One of the most important things on each page, is the top line. You need to fill this in on every page. You need to fill in your business name. So I would not write Cutie Patooties there. I would write everything Cutie Incorporated. You need to put in your employee identification number. And you need to tell which quarter, 1, 2, 3, or 4. You're going to put a number there and the correcting calendar year. So the year that you're doing this for, so 2020. So quarter 2, quarter 3, or quarter 4. You're not circling it, you're putting a number. IRS likes numbers filled in. Okay. Now you've used the spreadsheet I gave already, okay, to calculate the amount of payroll, okay, that is eligible for the credit for any given quarter. So down in line 18, so you're going to skip all the way down on page 2 to line 18. And this is the non-refundable portion of the employee retention credit, okay? And what this is the 6.2%, your share of Medicare and Social Security. This is the amount. This is yours. Oh, that went down wrong. This is the amount of. I'll get it here, people. I'll get it here. So this is the amount of the non-refundable tax there. So you're going to take whatever the amount of payroll that you're ultimately going to claim for the credit. You're going to take that multiplied by 6.2% and put that there, ending with a negative number in column 4. So in column 4, you're going to have a negative number after you do line 18. So line 18, and I will, so in column 1, it'll be the payroll times 6.2%. Column 2 will be 0. And column 3 will be the difference, and it'll be a negative number because you want this money back. And it will be negative over here in column 4 as well. You know, as I'm walking through this, as I'm talking this, I know I will do up a fake example too. I didn't do that yet, but I will work on that for you because I know a fake example will come in handy so you can see actual numbers on this. I will work up an example. line 23, the next line down, you're going to combine the amounts of lines 7 through 22. Well, 7 through 22, the only number is what's on 18. You're going to list that there, again, as a negative. Then we're over on page 3. And again, I'm going quicker tonight because I know you don't have the example in front of you. I didn't get it up there till just recently. Tomorrow night, you'll have the example. Okay, you'll have this highlighted copy, and you can be following it with me, and it will be more. It will make more sense than me just talking about this and holding it up on the screen. And it's probably showing up reverse anyway, so it's probably, knowing me, it's not showing up correctly anyways there. Okay, line 26. Okay, so now we're on page 3. Hang on a second. We flip to page 3 of it. Okay, and it even tells you at the bottom each page. So at the bottom, it tells you which page you're on. We're on page 3. So again, at the top, this is super important. Even if it's all stapled together, I mean, you got to understand how the IRS works. You got to work with the IRS you have, not the IRS you wish you had. So it is understanding the government agency you are working with. So even though these are all stapled together, if you don't have this filled out, it could kick back. And I know that most of you are like, that's stupid. It is stupid, but that's the reality of it. Okay, that is the reality of it. So again, at the top, you are putting your trade name, your company name, your tax ID number, and the quarter you are doing, not circled, you're actually writing the number in the space there, and the calendar year. And right now we're working on 2020, and you can only, again, work on 1 quarter per form. 1 quarter per form. So line 26, the next line you're going to fill in, is the amount of the employee portion of the credit. Okay, the amount of actual credit you're going to get. Without the 6.2%. Okay, so you're going to list that here, the total corrected amount for all employees. Okay, you're going to then, column 2 is going to be 0 again. The difference is there, and again, it's going to be a negative number. Oops, I forgot to highlight line 27. I'm going to have to update that. Yeah, see, I missed something. I'm making myself a note. I will update the download. Then on line 27, you're going to total lines 23 through 26 of column 4, which would take what you had in box 18. Actually, hang on a second. What you had in box 23 on page 2, and what you had in box 26, and you're going to add those two together and total it. Again, a negative number, people, a negative number. Then box 30 is the actual gross wages. This is the total of the wages, okay? So before you took the credit. So let's just keep the math simple. If your credit was $5,000, the amount you're able to claim for the credit, the total wages for the period would be $10,000. And I'm keeping that extremely simple, but you need to have it to the exact dollar amount. Okay, the exact dollar amount. Box 33A, I have highlighted. I have box 33A highlighted. Why do I have that highlighted? It only matters for the second quarter of 2020. That box only matters for the second quarter of 2020. And the reason that matters is you are actually eligible if you qualify for the credit in the first quarter. You can actually claim wages from March 12th forward, okay? And instead of doing a first quarter 941X, you actually can claim it on your second quarter, okay? 941. So your 941X. So you list it on your second quarter 941X, but you have to tell them the wages that came from the first quarter. And I know I've already talked to a few of you that have wages in that period, and that's fine. You're completely eligible to take them. I know some of you were already shut down by the middle of March, and so you don't have wages. You laid everybody off. Others of you have your last payroll, and it is based on that your payroll date was between the 12th. The date you actually cut the checks for payroll is after March 12th. Okay. Even if they worked earlier in March, the actual date of your payroll, the date you paid them, is what matters for that. So I know this will make more sense when you have the form in front of you, and I know now that I'm talking about it, I didn't practice this on anybody today. I didn't practice this before I came on here. I finished something and came on tonight. I will work on getting one that has example numbers so you can just follow it down. But that is the only box 33A only gets filled out if there was payroll from between March 12th and March 31st of 2020, and this is for your second quarter. That's the only time it'd be filled out. It wouldn't be filled out for the third quarter of 2020 or the fourth quarter for 2020. Only for that quarter. Then we move to page 4. Page 4, yay! All right, our final page. Okay, at the top, again, your name, your company name, not your name. Your company name, your company tax ID number, the quarter you're correcting, only one quarter. I can't say that enough. Not necessarily, Kitty. It depends on that. You can cherry pick. You can, if you got the PPP in the second quarter, it depends on when you used your PPP. On whether you can claim it or not. Okay. And what period of time you used it in. Okay. And when you used it for payroll. And you can cherry pick what payrolls, depending on how you applied for forgiveness, you can cherry pick what payrolls made that up to hit the number that you said on your forgiveness form was used for payroll. So you can cherry pick all the payroll for that to hit that number, and then anything else in the second quarter would be eligible for it as long as you were either down or under government shutdowns, which many of us were, and I know you were in Illinois. So again, on page 4, top again, your company name, your identification number, the correcting quarter, whatever quarter you're doing, and the correcting calendar year. Box 37, you must give us a detailed explanation. Look at that box. Box 37, you must give us a detailed explanation of how you determined your corrections. Okay, you gotta love a big empty box. Just because it's a big empty box, this is the government. So this box, unlike the boxes up here, this box, less is more. Less is more in this box, okay? And quite simply, something along the lines of claiming the employee retention credit, revising your 940, to correct, simply put, on you can say to correct and include both non-refundable and refundable credits due to the employee retention credit. And it's simple as that. To correct and include both non-refundable and refundable credits due to the employee retention credit. One line. Okay, nothing fancy. It does not need to be fancy. Okay, it can be very basic. Do not write War and Peace. They gave you space to write War and Peace. Do not write War and Peace. Okay, short and simple. Matters. Down here. Then you go to 5. Sign your name. Don't forget that. Your name. Okay. Date it. Print your name. Print your title. Okay. And your best daytime phone number. That's it. You have done a 941. Okay. How many that is when you print this out, it will come across much easier for you. When you print this out, you'll be like, that's it. And I know it's still confusing. Okay. But I will do one up with some numbers in it just so it helps that along. Okay. But it is not, when you look at all these boxes, I mean, there's boxes and boxes and then there's more boxes. I mean, look at all these boxes. I mean, only somebody in the government could love this form. Only somebody in the government could love this form with all these boxes. None of the other boxes matter. None of the other boxes matter. That is what you will need to do to claim it. And I will work one up with some numbers in it just so you can, not that the numbers will matter because it'll reference whatever fake business I come up with, but just so you can see all that, I will do that for you because that's the way I roll. And I realized as I sat here that would make some sense if I did it that way. And I like to make sense. But, my highlighting is not pretty, but it is functional. It is functional. And I will update it with the one box that I noticed that I didn't have highlighted. Hey, Vicky, every once in a while I can be helpful. I'm not the queen, but I can be helpful. So print that out. That's up in the Nards private Facebook group. It'll be up at nards.org/resale strong by noon tomorrow. It'll all be over there, a blank one, a highlighted one. I will update it with the other box that I forgot to highlight, and we will go through this. This is government paperwork. Have you gotten a letter on the one, Kitty, that you had a problem with? From them actually explaining what they think you did wrong? We'll figure out your issue and get you the rest of the money you deserve, Kitty. Even if we take that offline, we'll find your money. We will find your money. You know what else we'll find? This video and everything I talk about. This video and everything I talk about goes /resale strong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you, all the files, all the links, all the references, they're all over there at nards.org/resale strong by noon the next day, including a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with everybody you know in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody make it to the other side. We start this, I'm here every night at More 8 Than Ish, live in the Nards private Facebook group. But if you have a question in between, you, just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. That's how we start. Tonight, if you were not here at the top of the program, we're on page 156. Good morning. Don't get stuck in the comments section of life today. Make do. Create the things. Let others tussle it out. Vamos. Our good night tonight is good night. Don't let the world's clickbait pull you off your path. Unplug. Explore. Dream new terrain. The world keeps spinning. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. We'll figure it out, Kitty. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Certainly don't lose sleep about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. We will party again. We will party in person. And when we do, I'm going to be there with you. But until then, and until tomorrow night at More 8 Than Ish, know that you, but most importantly you, yes, you You're not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. It's time for dinner.